theaters watching Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So jump right into it. I did enjoy Rogue One. It was a very good movie. However, there were some missed opportunities that kind of bothered me. Great example, the beginning, no rolling credits. So I've been told it's out there. You need the da-da and get hyped up for the movie and like, yeah, all right. Wasn't there. Everything has it. Video games, TV shows. So for me, meh. The other problem is kind of a slow grind, getting to like the good stuff. I know you gotta lay down the character development, but it was just kind of like, it took a way long time to get to something that I needed to care about.
I am very conflicted about this movie. It has some parts of it that are absolutely amazing, and I want to see that again and again, and it has some parts that were really boring and drawn out. There are some things they did really well, and there are some things I just think they dropped the ball on. I can literally tell you one person's name. I don't know any of the other names. I can describe them. There's these characters that I didn't feel emotionally invested. Now, there were a couple that I was. The main character, Jyn Erso, I believe is how you say it. But they took time to draw her character out. You saw a lot of her past, understand her motivations and where she's coming from. Some of these characters, I'm not even entirely sure why they even went along. It's like they were there, they became part of the group, and they stayed part of the group, and I don't know why they were part of the group.
This movie is a lot different than Star Wars movies of the past. It's not about the Skywalker saga. It made me feel a little bit like I was playing a Star Wars video game. You're sort of a character that's off to the side of that main storyline, yet still doing something super important. But it worked because the characters were very interesting. They were fun, funny, scary, exciting, frustrating, lovable.
So I've been as excited about this movie as The Force Awakens. I go in all pumped up. Movie did not disappoint me, though it was a little slow during the first hour. But I will say the movie was a little longer in the beginning than it needed to be. Depth, character development was a little more shallow than I had hoped, but I didn't get my hopes up too high for characters as much as action and nostalgia. And this movie has plenty of that, and they really put the war in Star Wars, as many people on the net have been saying. This is the most violent Star Wars film, and I've never seen that many deaths on screen in a Star Wars film before. Sure, a lot of ships blow up in the original trilogy, but you don't actually see the deaths in front of you on screen, but there are a lot of deaths. It is PG-13, so it's not like gory, violent, or anything like that, but it is war. There is a reason why they call it Star Wars.
There is some CG stuff with characters like Gunnar Tarkin. You all know he's in it. The guy that plays him, Peter Cushing, died in real life. When you first see it, it's kind of meh, but then as it progresses, it does get better. When you first get your dose of Vader, you're kind of like, okay, Vader, you know, James Earl Jones, and we've got the classic, he does the point, you know, but then, oh my goodness, it delivers. At the very end, you get the payoff of the century, I feel, for a Star Wars movie. Totally worth it. Oh my god, dude. Like, I was squealing, kind of like, ah!
So this is where my confliction comes in. The parts in the movie that I enjoyed, I really enjoyed. But I spent the first half of the movie bored. It doesn't happen to me very often. I'm the kind of guy that sits down and the second the lights dim, I'm immersed, and I don't even realize time has passed when the credits roll. I was definitely feeling time passing in this movie for the first half of the movie. But you get to a point, the action starts, everything kicks in, and it's pretty awesome.
Got a very good villain, got the sassy robot. If you thought C-3PO was great, I think you got to run for his money here with the new droid.
The visual effects, of course, are, like any Star Wars film, are just top-notch. The best aspect of the visual effects is the recreation of a character who the actor who played him has already died. And I found that to be the best recreation of a CGI human being I've ever seen since Tron Legacy. And that is saying a lot, because I can be a bit nitpicky on those things. Worst recreated CGI human, the Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns. Michael Giacchino's score plays homage to John Williams in a lot of different ways while providing a new score for this standalone film.
The problem also with this movie, it's predictable. The movie does take place before episode 4, so therefore everything you're seeing in this, you most likely already know how it's going to end. Maybe the studios and writers could have thrown a curveball in there.
Then I find myself getting to the end of the movie and questioning my connection to these characters. I didn't find myself invested in the outcome. I don't mean the outcome as in episode 4. I was very invested in episode 4. But I didn't find myself invested in the outcome of this movie. Now, I took time before I got in front of the camera to look online and see the general consensus of reviews, just because I was curious to see if I was alone. I seem to be alone. There were very few people that actually were putting these criticisms forward, which makes me wonder if I see this movie a second time, if maybe I will be more invested. Repetition, for me to know who these characters are and why they're there. I can't shake the feeling that this was just an okay film.
As fun and as funny as it is, this is actually a pretty serious Star Wars film. There's a lot of death. There's a lot of people that just get straight up shot in the face. If you have young kids, they might not be ready for this Star Wars movie yet. That's fine. We'll still be watching Star Wars movies when they're old enough, so no worries there. I think that if you are a Star Wars fan, you absolutely have to see this movie. It connects almost perfectly with the original Star Wars movie. You could really just see the original Star Wars movie and then this film, and you would have an amazing experience. Overall, 10 out of 10.
Out of 10, I'm going to give this a 9.5. The reason for it not being a perfect score like Eddie, because of the slow pacing in the beginning. And some shallow character development, but I forgive all that because I love Star Wars.
I will definitely say that this movie is not what I wanted it to be. When it comes to giving this movie a score, this movie is not a 5 out of 10. This movie is, it's a good movie. It's just not a great movie. And I feel like everybody's saying it's a great movie. I'm hearing 10 out of 10. I give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. And I'm leaning very heavily on the parts of the movie that were fan service, the parts of the movie that I really enjoyed, the throwbacks, the parts that clicked. Is leaning very heavily into the 8 out of 10. There are parts of that movie where I feel like it might be lower.
Bottom line, scenes were good, fight scenes were good, the Darth Vader stuff was good, the nostalgia-ness of it that they put in there was good, but it's the grind getting to it for me is the problem. The lack of character development was the problem. The lack of iconic music was the problem. The lack of rolling credits, the problem. So with all that stuff said, for me, I have to give the movie a 7 out of 10. It is enjoyable. I am going to go see it again. I might pick up on something I didn't catch the first time. I don't know. I recommend going seeing it. It's worth it in the big screen for the ambience of the screen, the people, the vibe, the fans. Do it. Worth it. Go on ahead and favorite this video, like it by hitting subscribe. You get more reviews like this, unboxing videos, other shenanigans we do on the daily. And remember, you heard it here at The Source.